real quick, this is my alt channel, and my main channel is in danger every day of getting banned as a result of talking with these amazing people very candidly. So please do me a favor and subscribe down below. Helps me out a lot. Get the hell on it, doggone it. Let's talk about Barbie. So I actually watched Barbie recently. And I was like, man, I feel like this ending I feel like the movie could have worked better. I don't know if you watched it, but I feel like the movie could have worked better because so Barbie goes to the real world. She realizes that she's not hot shit anymore, like she is in the Barbie world. And then the Ken dolls take over, and then Barbie comes back. And I feel like they could have made it to where the Barbies realize they need the Kens, and the Kens realize they need the Barbies, and they have like a better society, knowing that both of them have value. But at the end, it just goes back to the women being in power again and the men being slaves. And I was like, okay, so I feel like they could have done that a little bit better and make it to where everybody like realizes they have value in society. But they don't really take that route. And the movie's all right. There was like a lot of funny moments, but it was all right. So people were really, really pissed though. Mainly people on Twitter. Let's be completely fair here. And people that are looking for clickbait in their articles were angry that Margot Robbie and Greta Gerwig were not nominated for Best Actress and Best Director at the Oscars. Now, the issue is the movie was all right, but it doesn't really scream Oscar, like not at all. And the issue is it made a good amount of money at the box office because it had a great marketing campaign. I mean, the best way to sell to women, especially women in the West, is just make shit pink and girly. Like the reason women aren't going to see Marvel movies is because you are casting women in male roles and making them like superheroes in like kind of loose like onesies that aren't even revealing, and they run around punching shit and saying like testosterone filled lines that don't make any sense and feels forced. If you make a movie about Barbie where it's cutesy, everything's pink, and it's about being girly, like women like that shit. So that's they marketed it in that way. And it worked out because shocking, women like to see girly shit. I can't believe it, right? I can't believe it.
Yeah, women are girly. Did you know that? Wow.
Yeah. So the movie's not that great. So why would Greta Gerwig get nominated for an Oscar for Best Director when the movie is just kind of all right? But it did make a lot of money. Is that factored in? I don't really think so. Look at The Whale. The Whale didn't make an ass ton of movie, or an ass ton of money. But old dude won an Oscar for it, and his name is eluding me. The guy in The Mummy. Fuck. Bruce, Brad, Brian.
I can't think of it either. Oh, I can see his face, but I
don't. Jared. Fuck. It's like, dude, this always happens when I think of an actor.
Chat, save us.
Their name, like, just Brendan Fraser. Thank you so much. Fuck.
Oh, yeah.
Brendan Fraser.
There we go.
Brendan Fraser. So, yeah, he won an Oscar for The Whale. The Whale didn't make an exorbitant amount of money. And I think they're conflating these two things. Also, Margot Robbie did not win or get nominated for Best Actress. Margot Robbie is not a great actress. Margot Robbie is just hot. Hotness doesn't mean good actress. It just means hot. Now, our boy Ken, he got nominated for an Oscar, right? Ryan Gosling. Now, I would argue Ryan Gosling's a much better actor than Margot Robbie is an actress. So that's what people are bitching about. And they feel entitled, especially when you go to the replies for these threads. Like these people feel entitled just because they're women to get like Oscars, because it's like, well, it's a movie that's based in feminism, so we should just get Oscars for it. And I'm like, that's not really how that works. Now, to be fair, I am shocked they didn't get nominated because the Oscars kind of plays that game. They kind of play the social justice bullshit game, right?
Yeah, and the movie was framed as, well, this is a feminist movie, even though I've heard completely contradictory opinions on it. It's like, oh, it's so base, but it's also so feminist. Like, sounds like it was just confused, but whatever. I didn't see it. But, yeah, Margot Robbie is not a good actress, so I'm not shocked, and I'm actually amazed that they aren't playing that game this time, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
For example, it's like Shia LaBeouf. What do you think he's Oscar material from his acting in Transformers? Like, Transformers deserves awards for the visual effects, not the acting. So it's one of those situations.
I did like Margot Robbie in Wolf on Wall Street because she was naked and hot most of the time. That was pretty cool. But she hasn't grown as an actress since that movie either. And that movie was in 2013 or some shit. So Jeddo Jaga says there are 4 actresses that look like Margot Robbie. One of them is the hotter version of Margot Robbie from the early 2000s, and her name is Jamie Presley. And she was naked in tons of movies, and she literally looks like an AI program made her. Like she
What?
quite literally
Who is
looks like
this?
she's like one of the most perfect women, like looking women in the world. And she was like really big in the early 2000s, and she looks just like she looks just like Margot Robbie, in my opinion.
Chat wants to see.
I mean, I'll pull her up. Yeah. I gotta be careful. I gotta be careful. Google Images. You never know.
Yeah. Let's be careful with that.
But yeah, she it was the early 2000s, so she got nude all the time in movies, and it was awesome. I can't find can I just open this a new tab? Yeah. All right, cool. And I'll just zoom in right there. So this is Jamie Presley. This is her face, which is perfect. Now obviously she's much older now. She's like in her 40s, so she doesn't look like this anymore. But she looks a lot like Margot Robbie. She was in like Joe. She was in Joe Dirt. She was in a lot of things. Right. So
she does look like Margot Robbie. Kind of different jawline, but
yeah, and she's just, and then of course, like now she definitely looks better than her naked. That's for damn sure, because she looked. There's early 2000s actresses, they got naked and everything. Thank God.
Back in the good old days. Man, we had like the 90s and early 2000s was just like the best media era, and then before everything went to shit. Oh, I miss it.
I miss it, dude. I really, really do. I miss women being just naked all the time, and now they're not. Now, dude, every time I turn on and that's what my intro says. By the way, that intro thing was like 2 years ago, and it's gotten worse. I watched The Boys, for example. The TV show The Boys, and every other character, every episode, almost every episode, every other character's got like their dick out, and like they're like naked, and it shows their ass like in every other scene, and then like you'll see like a ton of dicks. Just like flaccid dicks everywhere. And finally, Starlight, or whatever her name is, like Huey grabs her and transports her because he like took some of the juice that made him have superpowers. And it makes your clothes come off because you teleport. So you're just naked when you show up wherever you go. And Huey's naked, and it's just showing him from behind, and he's like this frail, like skinny dude that's just naked with his ass out and everything. And then every time it showed her, it was just her from like the collarbones up. It would never show anything.
Oh, it must be so frustrating.
Dude, like I'm like sitting there shaking. I'm like, show her ass, show something. Asses aren't nude, really. Like, just show her ass cheekies. I just want something. I want like a fair.
Yeah, they're starving you. How dare they? Oh, betrayal.
It's so frustrating. It's so.
You know what? What annoys me? That's really obvious. The whole just boobs are toxic or something, or just we need to avoid at all costs nowadays. But you mentioned they'll show hot men and they show ass and dick, but it's honestly in this way that isn't even hot to me. It's like, well, what's like ripping Thor's clothes off and stuff, sure, but the way they write the male characters is so unsatisfying. They have to emasculate the male characters in some way, and women don't like that. Like, I miss seeing male characters that are they're just fucking macho strong men, and they're like there to defend somebody, and that's great. I'd like to see that with the ass and dick. That would be nice.
Yes!
And I don't have a problem with tits. I draw tits all the time. Like, go to my website and shit. Like, I have no problem with this. Everyone should be able to have fun. Nothing
100%. And that's a great point, because speaking on Barbie being such a successful movie at the box office, women like strong masculine men that are successful in movies, and they also like effeminate women that use their effeminate qualities to take down somebody. Like that old like femme fatale, like the woman in the like little shiny red dress that uses her manipulative qualities of being a very attractive woman and knowing how to use that to take down world leaders. That's an impressive thing. A lot of women like to be manipulative like that and love to look good doing it, because it's an effeminate thing. Men taking care of their families, or just being strong. Like, how many women would go see the new Thor movie if they advertise it and it's like Thor and his shirt comes off and he's like shredded, and then and he's single now and he's pissed and he's on Tinder and he's just dumping loads and like throwing girls to the side and not caring. But then he finds a girl like midway through the movie he starts to care about, and like he's struggling with it. Dude, women would literally be like coming the whole movie.
Throw like a cute little kitten in there, because women like cute things. Have him cuddling a kitten. He adopts a kitten with this girl, like when he's with this girl, and like, you will make bank. That's all you have to do. It's really simple.
because you got to show, oh, he's starting to feel something for that one woman, and then those women identify as this tiny effeminate woman that he's starting to feel for, and then he's
Yeah.
throttling her, and but it's like not like it's not like the throttling at the early in the beginning of the movie where he's like slapping them around and then dumping loads. It's like passionate, dude. Women love that shit. They love
No.
it.
Women want to be that one exception, like, oh, I like broke through the tough guy and I'm the one. Like,
Yeah,
that's what we
I can
want.
change you. I can
Yes,
change
exactly.
you. I can
Which you
save
can't,
you
but
from this
we
life.
like it in fiction. So,
It's so silly. They're like, I can save you of this life of just countless women loving you. It's like, yeah,
oh
okay,
my
that's what I
gosh.
want saving from. Yeah, thanks. But that's all you
What
gotta
do
do.
you-
That's all you
yeah,
gotta
it's
do.
really simple. They got it all backwards and stuff. It's so weird.
Yeah, it's like the what was that successful movie franchise? 50 Shades of Grey. Like women were going and seeing that in mass and taking like vibrators and shit into the fucking movie theater just to
Oh, I
watch
didn't
this.
know.
Yeah, it was like a common problem. It was like a very, very big problem throughout theaters all over the country. Women were taking vibrators into these theaters and watching this dude like smack around a chick and choking her out while he's dumping and like doggy styling her. And these chicks are watching it like, holy shit. Like they love it.
Oh
Fucking love that shit.
my god. Wait till the Blu-ray comes out and go home and do that. Jesus.
Nah, dude. No, they all had it
No,
with them. They're all watching it
no,
and just
it's
freaking.
they
Ugh.
have they have no idea what women or men want, and it's just
No.
strange. It's like, well, this is for a new era, but it's the humans haven't changed. We're still monkeys in caves and stuff. Like we
Yeah.
still want the same
Dude,
things.
I
It's like
argue this shit so
pretend.
much. You're literally saying the same shit I say. Like, we've been around realistically from what we know, like at least 180,000 years. It takes millions and millions and millions of years for evolution to take place, if that is even to be believed, which I do. So, that being said, I'm no different than the guy that was sitting in the cave wanting to dump load in the cave lady over there. I'm not, we haven't changed. Not enough time has changed. So,
Not
we
much.
should lean into the fact that in movies, women want strong men that can handle their shit and they're dumping loads, and men want women that got their titties out. It's like it's that easy. It's a winning
Yeah,
formula.
and it's a healthy symbiotic relationship because you mentioned how the femme fatale character operates, how women like that, and that's a great point because Black Widow had some of that, which is why she was actually a successful character, and
Yeah.
characters like Captain Marvel aren't because Black Widow she embraced her femininity and she had a kind of power that only women have. Female beauty and sexuality is powerful, which is why I find it insulting that they refuse to use that and they want to make female characters like men. Which is it's like you're saying that the way we actually are, the power that women have, which is mostly social and psychological power, isn't worth using, and that's insulting, and we shouldn't be that way. That's kind of fucked up. Like women are proud of being women, and you're telling us otherwise.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the whole thing. I mean, I remember, and it can be subtle. I went to see Godzilla -1. Thought it was fantastic. And I saw it twice. And the thing that I love about Godzilla -1 is the fact that the female character in the movie is nurturing. Like that's her whole point, is nurturing. And the male character becomes like a hero. He has like this arc where he's like this like shameful person that like was he was a kamikaze pilot that didn't go through with his duty, and everybody shamed him for it. And then at the end, it comes full circle, and he's like a hero. And like the chick that is with him is like nurturing, and they have like a really nice nuclear family value like structure that was kind of like thrown together because of the wartime and the fire raids in Japan during World War II. And it's just really, really nice to just see a normal ass human structure that exists in 99% of places on the earth, you know.
Yeah.
Um, and it sucks because that is so looked down upon in Western media. Like to have like a normal father and a normal mother is like completely against the rules in like Western like cinema. You can't.
Do you
Your daughter has
see
to be or your father has to be an alcoholic that has no accountability, and like the mother is like holding up everything, and she has the highest paid job, and the dad's a piece of shit, or vice versa, or there's only one dad or one mom, or there's two dads and two moms. Like it can never be like the normal ass nuclear fucking family, and it's so frustrating.
No, and like honestly, it's just something that it just really shocked me. Where the nuclear family is it's a very Western thing, and there's a whole bunch of like sociology stuff I'm really into, but I'm not going to like elaborate on that and nerd out about it now. But the idea of a nuclear family isn't universal across the planet, but in the Western sense, it's the building block of Western civilization that's
Yeah.
very important, and it's being torn down now, which is why we have so many damn social problems. And it's terrible. It's shocking to me when I first moved to say I didn't grow up here. I grew up in Taiwan, and I come from a place where both sides of my family, no divorces. And it's like I come here and people were shocked when I told them my parents were still together. And I'm like, of course they are, aren't yours? And then I didn't realize just how prevalent the divorce rates are here. And it's just, I think it's, I understand things don't work out and all that stuff, but it society wide for it to be so common and for families to not be the default, I think it becomes a problem. It kind of is like it ruins people in a certain way, and I don't want to be insulting, but I think it's really bad for people. I remember this McDonald's ad in from Japan. Remember the meltdown
Yeah,
over
yeah, yeah.
that, where
I
there was
remember
just
that
like
shit.
this
It was
cute
just
little family with a little girl, and everybody was flipping out. And it's like, well, the way I think about it is that at the end of the day, having an intact family, I understand there's variations, but the thing that works for most people is finding the right person, and especially for children, having that stability is good, and that's what should be encouraged. But in the West, we're taking this opposite view of, well, because there are different family structures, and let's portray that instead of encouraging what is ideal. It's something wrong with idealizing, well, like the male and female forms that we were talking about, and that extensive family structure as well. Why can't we just idealize things and aspire to be something better? We just have to represent what we already see in daily lives and say this is okay. We don't have to try. Let's just be okay with us as we are, as our own sloppy selves, and we're
yeah.
imperfect, and we don't have to aspire to be better. I think that's what it is saying.
It's weird to me. It's I have such a weird perspective, and I guess it's weird nowadays because my mom and dad have been married for 39 years now, or 41. I don't know. They've been married for a long time. They're still
Same with
together.
my parents, yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny because just that fact is so important to, like, the next generation, right? It's not the end all be all, but it's very, very important to the success of, like, the next generation. And our country, especially in media, they shame the idea of a nuclear family or the idea that a woman wants to be a mother or a homemaker. Right? There's
Right,
like,
absolutely. It's
why
crazy.
is if it is admirable and was to be respected to go into the workforce and get a degree or become an engineer or a doctor as a woman because that's your choice, shouldn't it be equally as admirable to choose to be a homemaker and nurture your family and take care of your family and not work, and have a W-2? You know what I'm saying? Shouldn't it be equally admirable? But it's not. In media, women that have children, like a woman could go viral on Twitter because she's like, just set up the Christmas decorations, and she's like sitting at home and she's in like a modest outfit and she's, gorgeous, and her husband's in the background with his like business thing on and he's like giving a thumbs up and their kids are laughing around the tree. Like there'll be so many people in the replies like being so mean to this lady because she chose this
Really?
life. Yeah, dude, it is so
That's
looked
so
down upon. It is so looked down upon to just be a mother in the
like
West.
the contrast is just insane because it's like how do you describe it if someone doesn't, because I have friends that they just don't want to be mothers, they don't want kids. So okay, I get that, but that's your choice. But like, shaming someone for their choice, I thought feminism was about choice, but now it's going toward in the opposite direction. We've gone full circle, horseshoe theory, what the fuck ever, where it's not about choice. Women have to be a certain way, otherwise you must be shamed for it. And even if you have kids, you have to throw them into daycare. You can't actually want to raise your own kids, which is just absolutely ludicrous. And
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
glad I have the perspective of being raised in Asia, because like where I was raised, and I think there's you can tip too far either way, right? There's ultra traditionalism where people don't have the choices, and I think that's going too far back, because like my grandma's generation, it's like she didn't have full education. It's because she was a girl. That stuff's stupid. But we're in the opposite spectrum. It's almost like the West has gone off the other cliff, and
Yeah.
where I come from, it's like the way being a mother, being a housewife it's not just something that is to be expected. It's something that women actually take pride in, which is what I noticed, because I was like, what's the actual cultural difference? My mom, she took pride in her housework and keeping the home clean, and like her cooking and her children, and that is rewarding. It's work in itself. It's not that you're not doing anything with your life. You're not working. You are working, and you're not like subservient to someone. It's your choice to care for the people you love for. And what's I think that's actually a really important building block of society. And we're saying that that should be taken away, and that's shameful.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just it's silly. It's very, very silly to me, and I'm tired of it.